Most of us move through the world with a quiet assumption that what we see is what's actually out there. We probably realize we might miss small details or overlook something at the edge of our vision. But the important things, the obvious things, surely we would notice those. After all, our senses feel complete, continuous, and reliable. But that confidence rests only on an illusion. In a well-known psychological experiment, people are asked to focus on a simple task. They watch a short scene and count how many times a ball is passed between players. The task isn't difficult. It requires attention, but nothing more. While they're focused on counting, something unexpected happens. Something that doesn't belong. Something that, under normal circumstances, would be impossible to miss. And yet, when the task ends, many participants report seeing nothing unusual at all. No interruption, no anomaly, nothing out of place. What's unsettling isn't what they missed, it's how completely they missed it. The unexpected object wasn't hidden, it wasn't subtle. It didn't appear for just a fraction of a second, it was fully visible and in plain sight. And still, for many people, it never even entered awareness. This phenomenon is known as inattentional blindness. Not blindness in the sense of damaged eyes, but blindness created by attention itself. When your brain commits to a task, it doesn't merely highlight what matters, it actively suppresses what doesn't. The brain decides in advance what is relevant, and anything outside that decision is quietly discarded. This is the crucial point. The missing information doesn't feel missing. From the inside, the experience feels whole, complete, as if nothing was ever absent, which means perception doesn't work the way we intuitively believe. We don't first see the world and then decide what to focus on. We first decide what matters, and only then the world is constructed around that choice. By the time an experience reaches consciousness, it has already been edited, simplified, compressed, filtered, not because the brain failed to see something, but simply because it decided it didn't need to. If the brain edits reality, then an important question follows. Whose version of the world is the real one? Because the filtering doesn't happen the same way for everyone. Two people can stand in the same place, look in the same direction, witness the same event. And yet, what they experience can be meaningfully different. Not just opinions afterward, but the raw material of perception itself. What was noticed, what was ignored, what never entered awareness at all. This isn't a failure of memory. It happens before memory is formed. Each brain brings its own priorities into the moment. Expectations, past experiences, emotional state, goals, fears, and habits of attention. These factors quietly decide what deserves processing and what doesn't. That's why eyewitness stories often conflict, even when everyone involved is being honest. One person remembers a face, another remembers a sound, another remembers nothing unusual at all. They weren't lying or being careless. They were simply perceiving different worlds. Your brain does not aim to create an objective record of reality. It aims to create a useful one. Useful for survival, for action, for decision-making in the next few seconds. Anything that doesn't serve that purpose is treated as expendable. This means that perception is not a window. It's a negotiation between what exists and what your brain believes matters right now. Here's the unsettling part. You don't experience these deletions as losses. You don't feel blind or confused or incomplete. You feel normal, which makes the limits of perception almost impossible to detect from the inside. Most of the time, we assume that if something was important enough, we would notice it. But importance isn't defined by reality. It's defined by the brain's internal model of reality, a model shaped by evolution, not truth. A model only shaped for survival. But this has subtle consequences. It affects how we judge situations, how confident we feel in our understanding, how easily we dismiss perspectives that don't match our own. Because if your experience feels complete, why question it? Yet the science keeps pointing in the same direction. We are not seeing reality as it is. We are just seeing a version of reality, pared down to what our nervous system believes we need to survive. And that raises a final question. If so much of the world is filtered out without our awareness, what else is being removed right now without us ever knowing it was there?